How are you? Thank you for doing this. I know I'm the first of a couple, so I feel like I'll get
Yeah,
hopefully all the
no.
energy.
Yeah, no, thank you.
What has it been like the last year? I mean, prom was what, a little less than a year ago?
Yeah.
So, how does it feel to look back and be like, all right, I've accomplished all of this in a year?
It's honestly weird. Like, I mean, technically I finished school um not last November, but the November before.
Okay.
So this November will be 2 years that I was done school, but I waited with my own grad class and then did prom. So like I was technically out of school for like 6 months before I went to my prom. Um But it's just so weird. Like people keep telling me, like, "Can you believe this is happening to you?" And I'm like, "No." Like, I don't. Like, it just goes in one ear and out the other, and you're like, "This is not happening to me."
I was kind of going through your stuff. I was like trying to figure out your timeline. I was like, I feel like she's done with school, but then there's prom. So, what was that like?
Yeah.
What is that like to go? I'm so curious about you going to prom while you have a career that's like taking off. I mean, you're a big deal on online and on social and stuff already. What was that like for you at prom? Do you feel like it was still normal, or do you feel like people root for you, bully you? I mean, how is it?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, a lot of people didn't like me in high school, and I left. I finished school early because 1, I wanted to go out to Los Angeles and do music, but 2, like, people just didn't like me and I didn't like being at high school, and so I left kinda being like, I wasn't even gonna go to my prom. I literally was not going to go, I didn't buy a dress, and I was like, "I'm not going to prom." Like, "I don't wanna go to prom, nobody likes me, like, I don't wanna go." And then, like, a couple days before, like, literally my friend somehow convinced me and was like, "I think you'll enjoy it," and I was like, "Okay." Went to a store in the States and just, like, bought a random dress that was, like, 50 bucks and flew home specifically for prom, and I was gone for, like, 4 months, and then I don't know if everyone had just, like, grown up or, like, didn't hate me anymore, but everyone prom was amazing. It was so fun. It was, like, one of the highlights of my year. Nobody didn't like me, and I'm, like, cool with everyone in my grad class now.
I swear it's the people who end up being successful or who are doing things for themselves that get the most hate or bullying or whatever. It's just because
Yeah.
people know that you're trying to do you. Like they want all the attention on them.
Yeah. It was like I would ask my teachers to, like, because my teachers would get excited and be like, "Oh my god, I wanna, like, announce it to the class," and I'd be like, "Do not announce it. If you announce it, like, my house is gonna get egged." Like, I'd be like, "Just keep it to yourself, like, don't tell the class about any accomplishments, like, let's just act like I'm unsuccessful for the rest of the semester, please."
when when did the success really start happening? Like when did people start treating you differently?
I feel like my grade 10 year, I had
Okay.
a video with my dad that went viral on Facebook, and I think it's like at like 40 million views or something now, but like that was everywhere. And then being in a small town, like every news place, like everyone just knew in my town because it was like, oh, she's from the island, it's a small town thing everybody knows. And that was when like people would just be so crazy to me. Like people I literally had never met or even had one conversation with would like post online saying they wanted me dead and would like come up to me and get mad at me and like egg my house, egg my car, like people I literally have like never spoken to, and I'd be like, I just want to ask them like what I did, like why they hate me, and like you just kind of
Okay, serious talk for a minute
yeah.
because that's hard to deal with. Like no wonder you have some sad like gut-wrenching songs, but
Oh my
how did
god.
you who did you lean on? Like, how do you even get through that? Because, I think a lot of people deal with bullying or, people hating, but not on that kind of
Mhm.
level.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I probably didn't deal with it that great. I probably just cried at home. But I finished school early, which was like one thing. I knew like you become your surroundings. And when you're at high school, you're just around a bunch of people that really just care about drama. And so my first thing was like, okay, I'm going to graduate early and I'm going to get out of this place. And I'm just going to be by myself and, do my own thing. So once I left high school, a lot of it stopped because I didn't see those people every single day. But then I went to the States for 4 months, and I stayed with one of my best friends, and I just, like, literally left the town and just, like, did my own thing for 4 months, and then when I kinda came back, now everybody is, like, kind of more chill with me, but I definitely think it was just a mixture of, like, everybody's young and like we all have probably done mean things in high school and said mean things to people. Like I think it was just lack of maturity from just high school in general.
Well, I'm glad that prom gave you. I love that you were able to go back, by the way, and go to prom. But
yeah, because I wasn't gonna go. I was like, so like this is gonna be awful. Like, oh my goodness, like somebody's gonna like cut my dress. Like something bad is going to happen. And it was honestly such a great experience. So.
Did the DJs like call you out and say, "Oh, Lauren Spencer Smith is here," or do they let you live your life? Okay.
No. I don't think the DJ knew me or anything. It was chill.
That's good. That's good. And talking about like, I mean, you've gotten some bad messages, but what about good messages? I know that you love talking to your fans and connecting with them, not just giving them music. So what kind of stuff do people send you in the good side?
Yeah. I mean, going back on the bad stuff, like what really got me through it was that 95% of what I get from people is positivity. And so like I know like there's just a small percentage of people that are like being mean, but I have like hundreds of other people, telling me how much they love me every single day. And that was like, okay, I can ignore the bad. But no, people will literally like message me saying like, you're the reason I got through my breakup. Like I was bedridden and the only song I listened to was yours. And I'm like, what? Like, oh my goodness. Like I feel like I'm inspiring people. Or like people will message me and be like, you started posting on social media and like it inspired me to do this. Or like, people just tell me that like in some way I've impacted their life. And that is just like the best feeling ever.
How about, have you gotten any like extra detailed messages about someone's life that was maybe a little much?
I definitely get some like huge long things and I'm like, I don't even know if I can I feel like I am not professionally trained to respond to this message. Like I don't know what to say to this.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I get like a little bit of that, not even nearly on the level, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like a, hey, I believe in therapy and maybe you might too.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, I mean, not before, whatever. Your voice is incredible. At what point were you like, this is something that I'm going to use? Like, did someone tell you that you should use it? Or did you just know, like, something's happening in my lungs that's unlike other people?
Yeah. I mean, like, I would watch like other, like, I would join like, like local competitions and stuff like that and listen to like other people my age sing and like listen to people who were like a couple years older than me sing. And like, I never had like oh my God, I think I'm an amazing singer. Like, I never just had like that feeling. But I entered like a competition when I was 11 to sing with Keith Urban on stage. Some other girl won the competition, but then his management and he called like my house and was like, I love Lauren's voice and I still want to sing with her. Like, can we sing a different song? And then like my whole family went like backstage and I ended up singing with Keith Urban in front of like 20,000 people when I was 11 years old. And like he had said too, like, you're really talented. Like, don't stop doing it. Like, you are amazing. Like, keep going, keep doing it. And like from that moment forward, I was like, okay, like some professionals in the industry just told me they think I have a gift. Like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to keep at it.
I have full body goosebumps for you. Did you know that time on stage in front of thousands of people? Like, were you nervous or were you like, oh, this is where I belong?
I was so not nervous. And like after that moment too, I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, I was like, I want to do that every single night. And that is the only thing I want to do.
That is amazing. Okay, who else would you, if you could happen to be on stage and duet with someone at their show, who would you want it to be?
Oh my goodness. Oh my God, there's so many people. Julia Michaels, maybe. Sam Smith, Adele. I love Clinton Kane, if you know who that is. JP Sachs. Oh, I feel like there's so many, like Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber, any one of the One Directions.
Yes, I saw your Adele cover too, which is another just really great. And how did you go about planning? Because obviously the putting music out and making it go number one or making it chart and stuff, it's so different nowadays than it ever used to be. So how did you know, like, I'm going to put out this song in pieces and build it up? Like, how did you come up with that plan?
Yeah, I mean, like, it is kind of like a trend on social media, like tease your music and like let your audience know. But I mean, like, even for like the last year and a half with covers, like I would tease it on the internet and then it would, like my video that I had viral with my dad, like that went viral and everyone was like, we want the full Always Remember Us This Way cover. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna put it on Spotify. And then like that got like however many millions of streams. And so like I kind of knew that that was like the way to do it with original music as well. But honestly, like some of it is really just like the fans if they like it or not. Like you put it out there and then they do like 50% of the work. Like they go out and make all their own videos and like turn it into a trend and then like everyone else wants to create things to it and then it like kind of just starts like exploding. But I knew that I didn't, because I posted it kind of at the end of November and I knew I didn't want to release it before Christmas because that's just not the move. Everyone in Christmas time wants to listen to Christmas music. I was like, nobody wants to listen to Fingers Crossed. And I knew releasing it like directly, like right after Christmas just wasn't the move either. I was like, okay, we have to wait till January. And then I was like, hey, let's just make this like one of the first releases in January. I was like, and let's not do it on New Music Friday so we can beat the New Music Friday people and chart before all these other huge artists that are already in the industry drop on Friday and then mine's mixed in with everybody else's. And so we were like, okay, Wednesday, the 5th, like let's just pick the day and let people know. And just the anticipation just honestly built up and everyone just kept, I mean, it was getting kind of annoying. Like I was using the same sound over and over. Like I could understand why people were getting annoyed. But people just kept viewing it. Like everybody just wanted it so much and just building so much anticipation. And there's all these trends going around with it. And like, it was really just like my supporters did all the work.
But then, okay, so you picked a good timing because even though there were some releases that came, now you're named iHeartRadio's On The Verge Artist. So congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
What is that, when you get that news, knowing that all of our stations are adding your song, what does that feel like?
It's just stupid. Like, I was just like, I'm sorry, like and then my team's like, yes. And I'm like, no, you're joking. Like, I'm not. Like, just to know that like, like that are like picking me and trying to support me, especially because like I mean I'm an independent artist and just to know that I'm chosen, I have all these people supporting me and adding me to stations is just so amazing. Well,
we're glad to play it. It's getting a lot of play. In fact, I know that we just played it a couple minutes ago. It was fun. I knew that I was going to be on the air with you. But thank you so much for doing this conversation and I hope that you come around and we'll see you here in DC sometime soon, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.